Hey, welcome. And now we can continue from where we stopped. Okay. To do this, you have to go to the nav screens and then cat underscore screen, then the dot file. And now we can use Ctrl and B to make this wide. After this test widget, which is for the product price, we want to have the size of the product displayed. That is the selected size. Okay. Now to display this in a very nice way, we are going to be using a widget which you've seen before. It is known as outline button. And remember, it is a button, so it will definitely have this unpressed. And what we can do is we can create a function that does nothing. But in the future, we are going to be able to disable this button because the reason of using this outline button is just to have our product size displayed very nice. We really do not want it to be clickable. So over here, we can have a test widget, and this is going to be cat data, then dot product size. Add your comma, add your comma, add your comma, and use control and S to save. And you should see it over here. Wait for this. Okay, great. But currently it says clickable. So what we can do is we can make it not clickable. To do this, get rid of this, and now we can set the onPress to no, and it's not gonna be clickable anymore. Use Control and S to save, Control and S to save. Wait for this. Okay, great. You can see it is not longer clickable, and we have this nice look. Okay, now what we want to be able to do is over here, we want to have the minus icon, which is going to serve as the decrementing. And over here, we want to have the quantity, which is going to serve as how many item, that is how many Gucci the user wants to buy. And over here, we can have the plus icon, which is going to serve as the increment to increment our cart. Okay, great. Now to do this, first of all, we can have a container. You're going to see why shortly. And within the container, we can give a height of 40. Remember, the height has to do with how long we want the container to be, and we can also have a width, and remember the width has to do with how wide we want the container to be, and we can say we want a width of 110, that is 110. And in order to have access to a lot of properties the container has, we can then have the decoration and box decoration class, box decoration. And now, as you know, within the box decoration class, it has this property known as color. And we can say colors dot yellow, and we can give this some shade of 900. Okay, sorry for that. Just going to get rid of this shade colors, then shade of 900. Add your comma and sorry, use control and S to save, and you should see it. Okay, great. We have it over here, and now within the container, it has this property known as child. And with my explanation, this widget we are about to have, that is the minus icon, how many items the user wants to purchase, and the plus icon, they are going to be displayed horizontally. So for this purpose, we are going to be using a widget which you've seen before. It is known as row. Just gonna adjust my mic quickly. Okay. It is known as row, and of course, a row can take multiple widgets, which are going to be displayed horizontally. So it has this property known as children. And the first chart is going to be an icon button. We basically want to have an icon, which is also going to be clickable. And for now, we can just create a function that does nothing. But in the future, we would be able to make it functional. And now we can have this icon. And in order to have a very nice icon style, we can use the Cupertino icons, then dot minus. Remember, this is going to serve as the decrementing minus, and we can also change this icon color because default is going to be black. And within the icon widget, it has this property known as color. We can then set this to colors dot white and scroll to the side to see, okay, we have double comma, and that is why we have an error. Use Ctrl and S to save, and you should be able to see the minus icon with a color of white over here. Okay, and over here we want to have how many items the user wants to purchase. That is how many Gucci the user wants to purchase. And over here we can say test and cart data, then dot quantity. Then it is a number, so we have to say string. And now we're gonna have something unusual. Use Ctrl and S to save, and let's see what we would have over here. Okay, great. And over here we have 51, and over here we have 89. And this is basically saying the user wants to purchase test product, that is 51 of this test product and 89 of Gucci oversized. And the reason for this is because we have made a mistake. I'm going to show you this mistake. Within the models folder and cart attributes, we have this variable called quantity, and it is a type of number, right? And in order to be able to assign a value to this, we passed it on to the constructor. So whenever we call this class, we then have to pass in all the values to this. And finally, we are calling that class within the product detail screen, right? Remember within our provider, we have this function called uh, add product, right? And basically within the add product, we are using this card attribute. And finally, we are able to pass in the value to that variable called quantity. And what is the value we are passing? The value we are passing is the quantity which is coming from our database. And remember, the quantity we have in our database has to do with how many products the vendor wants to sell. So that is why 89 and 51 is coming. So instead of using the quantity we have in our database, we can get rid of this and we can say default whenever the user clicks on the add to cart, the user wants to purchase one of that item. Okay, but in the future, they should be able to increment their cart. And that is why we have, okay, for now we just have the decrement. And what we have to do now is to alt, reload this, reload this, and wait for this. And then since we just recently alt reload, I think we have to re-add the product to our cart again. I'm just gonna come to this. Okay, still alt restarting, I guess. And okay, cart. Okay, we currently have no products in our cart, and I'm gonna add test And first of all, we have to definitely pick size. I think I'm having some issues with my network. Uh, I'm just going to add this for now and add to cart. And do I'm not going to see that image? Okay, okay, I'm having some issue with my network, but in the next lecture, it should load properly after I connect my internet. And but you can see over here, we have this one. Okay, everything is working as we expect. And let me add it again, test, and we have to pick a product size, then add to cart, adding the same product to cart. And now we should have two. Okay. And remember, that is what our function is all about within the provider and cart provider. We said if the product has been added before to our cart, then we want to be able to add one to that product instead of creating another cart entirely over here. We just want to be able to update that cart by one, and this is what is happening. But if the product has never been added to our cart before, then we want to be able to add that product to our cart. And this is what we are saying. Okay, you can see we got it over here and it has one over here. And back to the product detail and sorry, not the product detail, but cart screen. We can style this to give it a color of white. Test style and the colors dot white and okay, and now we can have another icon button, and for now it is a button that does basically nothing, but in the future we should be able to increment and decrement as well. And icon widget, and this is going to be Cupertino icons. And remember, the need for this Cupertino icons is to have a better style. And plus, and within the icon widget, it adds the colors dot white, and use Ctrl and S to save. And we should have that over here. We should have that over here. Wait for this. Okay, everything is working as we expect. So currently, the user wants to purchase two of these test products and one of these goosey oversized products. So everything is working as we expect, and also we have the size of the product displayed. And really, we do not need how many items the user is selling. Remember the need of having all these fields over here is to be able to display them within the card screen. Fields like the schedule date and the vendor ID is going to be used to basically for the vendor section. Remember the need for this vendor ID is to be able to send the order to the vendor. Okay, and for the schedule date, you're going to be able to see that in the future. And the need for this product ID is to check if that product has been added to the user cart or not. So that was why we have to pass this in. And the need for this product name is to be able to display it in the future. And that is why we are able to display it over here. And also for the price and the image URL. But currently, I got disconnected from the network, and that is why we can't see this network image. Remember, it is a network image. So of course, it expects a data to load, and everything is working as we expect. So we are able to add products to our cart and also being able to display them. Okay, but please, if you have any issues or concerns, please do well to let me know. And it is my duty to make sure you understand everything.